I'm Jessica LaFave from Molly and Rura, and the last thing we're going to be adding to our slipper for the DIY kit is going to be the drawstring around the top. So using your elastic, which comes in quite a long length, but you're going to be doubling it up, you want to thread through the elastic on your darning needle. And then you want to pick a stitch along the top of the foot that goes along. So I'm going to pick this line here because it nicely goes and right perfect at the top. And so what I want is to kind of get it right at the top of the foot there, nice and centered. So pick a side. I like doing it on the side so that it doesn't bother the heel because that can be an issue. So starting here, going to start from the back. Pull through, leave about an inch at the back so you can tie it off, and then we're going to be, oops, let me try that one more time. I want to be at the bottom of that stitch. Okay, so leaving an inch at the back, and then we're going to be weaving in and out along that same line. You don't want to pull your elastic tight, you want to leave it quite loose so that you can let the closure do its job and tighten it if needed. But a lot of the designs of our slippers actually fit quite snug as it is on the ankle part, so that you don't have a ton of elastic needing to pull through the front, which I just don't think looks as nice. Okay, so on the front of the stitch we have this post from one of the stitches right here that's perfectly center, so I'm actually going to weave in and then weave up through, and going to add my elastic closure. The back is the part with the spring. So going to weave that onto my elastic, or thread that onto my elastic, center it. Put on the other side. Okay, and then you have that nice and centered, and then you just keep going in and out the rest of the line. I'm getting to where it's just getting centered, so I'm actually going to be leaving just 2 stitches blank, and that's perfectly fine. You're not going to notice once you have it on there. You can go through the stitch if you want to, but leaving a little bit of a gap isn't a bad thing either, so you can get some space there to actually work and knot it. Okay, so I'm going to turn this inside out so that you can see what I'm doing here. So you can just choose to knot these 2 ends together, and that's perfectly fine too, but I find that just knotting the one side is really helpful in making it a little bit lighter and not such a heavy knot on the inside of the slipper. So what I do is I grab one end of the elastic, loop it through the other end, and then I actually just knot these 2 ends together, and just a simple tie. So 1 tie, 2 ties, and then I do a 3rd tie just to be safe. Make sure that you're not pulling too tight because you'll actually start pulling the tension from around the whole slipper. And make sure it's nice and tight. You want to trim the ends so that they're about 1/4 of an inch. You don't want the elastic to fray if you cut too close. And then we turn our slipper back inside out, give it a little shape, and that's what it looks like with a nice little drawstring. And it's all done. And then the nice thing with this design too is you just pull the threading on the front of the drawstring to tighten. And you don't have to worry about any kind of ties that are going to come loose or that they can yank out. And that's it, you're done your slipper. Thank you.